meeting to order. If you could stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome to this special meeting of May 28, 2026. If everyone could go around and introduce themselves, starting with Mrs. Agrusa.
Andrea Agrusa, CFO.
Ginny, Jeup, trustee.
Roy Bishop, Deputy Superintendent.
Klepp, trustee.
Sean Condon, trustee.
John Kava, Board Legal Counsel.
Laura Hull, trustee.
Colleen, Worden, trustee.
Valarie St. John, trustee.
Okay, it's now time for public comment. Are there any public comments tonight?
We have to approve the agenda.
I just forget that. Is there a motion to approve the special meeting agenda for May 28th, 2026?
I'll move to approve the special meeting agenda for tonight.
Okay, is there support?
Support.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I move to amend the agenda to add before public comments a discussion of the budget in public.
I support that.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I believe that in order to discuss negotiations, you need a budget. And I think that if we don't discuss the budget in public, I think we're getting close to crossing OMA lines, and that we need to discuss the budget in public.
Did you reach out to either Deputy Superintendent Bishop or Mrs. Agrusa to make this request?
I reached out to President Derringer to say that we need to have a discussion on the budget.
Oh, okay, but did you reach out to Deputy Superintendent Bishop or Assistant
Does it matter?
Well, yeah, because if we're going to get a discussion of the budget, certainly they would want to be prepared for any presentation they're going to give.
Well, I imagine they have to do a presentation of the budget in order for us to discuss negotiations. I just don't think we should do that in closed session. Otherwise, I think that's a secret meeting on the budget.
Well, I don't think we should be talking about what the content of this closed session is going to be, first of all. But second of all, I think that if you want a discussion of the budget, I think that we should let our administration know so that they have time to prepare for this. And I think it's unfair for them on the spot to say, let's have a discussion of the budget. Plus, it's not on the agenda for the public to hear. And I think if we're going to have a discussion about the budget, you could certainly call for a separate meeting, or you could ask to have it on the agenda when we're here next week.
I have to imagine that you're going to discuss the budget in the closed session. I think that's crossing the OMA line. I think that if we're going to discuss negotiations, we need a budget, and otherwise there's no point to having a meeting and discussing negotiations unless you're discussing the budget. So I don't think that we should have secret budget discussions.
I don't think this is secret budget discussions. And again, I really take issue with trustees discussing what we're going to talk about in closed session. So
I do
Who calls
too.
this
Exactly.
meeting
That's
anyway?
exactly right.
Who called this meeting?
Well, by bylaw, we need two trustees to call the meeting.
So who called this meeting? Which trustees?
Deputy Superintendent reached out to me and to President Derringer to call a meeting for negotiations, which is completely appropriate. So at any rate, is there any more
So
discussion?
you're saying you did and trustee Clint Derringer?
I've already said on the record. Is there any more discussion about this?
Well, Ms. Agrusa, we're planning to cover budget in the next regular board meeting. And that's am I right? It's coming up on Monday?
The 9th.
No, so it's 2 weeks, or a week and a half out. Is there material tonight that's different from that, or are you in any way prepared, like, to discuss any budgetary figures
Can I
tonight?
answer that, wait?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, we're not prepared at this moment to talk about the budget per se, but we will be on June 9th.
I'd like to ask the same question of the CFO. Are we prepared to discuss it tonight? Do you feel like we could be?
We don't have all the details to discuss it. We were going to just talk very high level.
At the next meeting?
At the next meeting, we'll
just talk
have
very high
full
level.
details, yeah.
I think it's incredibly unfair to spring this on our administration. If we're going to have these kind of discussions, certainly I know that you'd bring the budget book with you. You'd probably have a PowerPoint to show us. And I would say in the future, if there's going to be this kind of discussion, you should reach out to administration to do this. But at any rate, is there any more discussion on this?
When was this meeting? This meeting was put forth, what, last night at late.
As has been done in the past when we've done
What
negotiations.
time was it put up?
As has been done in the past for negotiations, we've had multiple meetings that sometimes happen close to.
Which ones?
If you could stop interrupting me, Trustee Jeup. Trustee Jeup, I'm speaking right now. When we've done prior negotiations, for the last 6 years I've been on the board, there's frequent meetings that happen sometimes right after the discussion with the union. So this is not uncommon to have a meeting called 2 or 3 days before. It's happened on multiple occasions.
I don't think it was 2 or 3 days before, and I don't recall ever being, meetings just always seem to appear, just randomly, no warning, no anything, and there was always communication and, hey, what's your availability, and those kind of discussions always came across, and those do not come, and all of a sudden, you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're like, whoa, something was put on at 10 o'clock. That's just a little crazy.
That's not my recollection of what happened in 2023 and 2024.
So so if you have a recollection, why don't you be more specific?
I don't know
That's
that pertains to this meeting.
I think
that
I'm in the
we
middle
can-
of talking now and you just interrupted me as
I
well.
did, I was responding to what you were saying and you had finished your
Okay, so
sentence.
we could all
So I would say it
just
doesn't
talk
pertain to
over
what we're
time.
doing
That's
and
what
we
we
should
do.
move forward
Got it.
at this point.
Okay, is there any more discussion on Trustee Cotton's motion? Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Trustee Jeup?
to what?
To add to
Yes,
these.
To amend it.
to amend it, yes.
Okay, Trustee Cotton, I'm sorry, Trustee Klepp?
No.
Trustee Cotton?
Yes.
Trustee Hull?
No.
And I am a no. Trustee St. John?
No.
Okay, that fails 4-2. Okay, are there any public comments?
You still need to
Yes.
vote on the actual, to approve
Oh,
the
I'm sorry,
agenda.
yes.
Now we're approving the
Now
agenda.
we are approving the meeting agenda for May 28th, thank you, John, 2026. Any more discussion?
Yes, could you explain what we're going into closed session for?
It's written on section 4, it's motion to enter into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268 of the Open Meetings Act to consider strategy, negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement if either negotiating party requests a closed hearing.
So I guess I don't understand how we could have a negotiation discussion if we don't know where the budget is. Can you explain that?
I just read you what it's about.
Okay, there's not.
Can you explain
You're
where we
allowed to
are with the fund balance at the end of this budget? Do you know that number?
I do know that number.
What is it?
I'm not gonna talk about this in closed.
Because you don't know.
Yeah, I do know.
I'd be
Your
very
gotcha
surprised.
moments are
It's
no,
not a gotcha
Trustee Cotton.
moment, it just shows that you have no idea what the budget is.
I absolutely do know, and your
How? We haven't had a
insulting
discussion.
comments are.
How would you know if we haven't had a discussion on the budget?
Okay, we're now going to vote on approval of a special meeting agenda for May 28, 2026. We'll do a roll call, starting with Trustee Jeup.
No.
Okay, Trustee Klepp?
Yes.
Trustee Cotton?
No.
Trustee Hull?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Yes.
Okay. That carries 4-2. Are there any public comments?
Yes.
Mr. Schroeder, go ahead.
I just happened to find out about this meeting while I was sitting in the hallway. This is a violation of every Opens Meeting Act that I know of, that I wasn't aware as a public. When was this put out? Because I pay attention to the website and I try to find out things. But this is an absolute, if you guys go forward with this, is an absolute violation of an Open Meetings Act. And there's a gentleman, a lawyer here, and I want him to know that the public does know this is a violation of an Open Meeting Act. None of us had any clue. None of us with an American with a Disability Act would have had time to get here or make plans to get here. You know, this is absolutely ridiculous. And if this is about trying to figure out how much money we're going to pay teachers, I think anybody that had any money or in-kind donations, they're tainted. You're owned, you're bought, and you're gonna vote to pay your boss a raise. I think 5 of you should be exempt from being able to vote on this. You shouldn't be allowed to negotiate how much money to give the people that put you in here. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know Trustee Derringer said that he was going to not be involved because his wife, is a teacher in the system, but Ms. Hull is going to get it, if this money goes up, then she's gonna go to her union and say, listen, Girls Point's making this much money, of course, I voted to give them a 10% raise, so I think we deserve an 8% raise. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous too. You're all tainted. You're all tainted. I don't know if you two took any money or in-kind donations, no idea. But I know for a fact you guys did, and I think you guys should be exempt, and if there's a lawyer that's worth his weight in salt, he would agree. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, at this point, I would like to make a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to section MCL 15.268(1)(c) of the Open Meetings Act to consider strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement if either negotiating party requests a closed hearing.
I'll support, and I would like to ask a clarifying question of which or did both negotiating parties request a closed hearing for this?
Say that one more time.
Which party, or which of the negotiating parties requested the closed hearing, since that's part of it? I assume
All,
administration and the
yeah,
bargaining
for sure,
groups
yeah.
would like a closed hearing? Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that we, every year that we're negotiating, hopefully we didn't have to last year, but we have numerous closed sessions to discuss negotiation as is appropriate with our bargaining units. And the feedback is noted that more advance notice would be appreciated and that the board president should check in with everybody regarding availability. I'll pass that along to him since he's not here. But it is appropriate to have closed sessions for bargaining purposes.
Is there a support to this motion?
I was supporting.
Okay, let's do a roll call vote, starting with,
Is there any
is there any discussion?
I am not going to enter closed session with this group. I'm not going to have another secret budget talk in this room with anybody here. We're crossing the line with the OMA.
Well, I want to point out that when we did budget negotiations last time, we didn't even get the budget until June 5th, I believe. And I remember that Shelby Freyer, who was the CFO at the time, she could only come to one of the meetings. So we had to get all of our questions in. And I remember specifically Dr. Tuttle asking us to give her a little bit of grace because she had several CFOs, including Mrs. Irby and CFO Freyer, not once but twice. And we gave her that grace, and we didn't see a budget presentation until June 5th of last year. So I'm not concerned about this. I think that it's entirely appropriate to talk about negotiations in closed session and the collective bargaining agreement, and so I support this.
If I could add, since I would assume we won't have the 5 votes necessary to go into closed session based on this comment, I do think that it is.
You need 4.
Do we only need 4?
Negotiations, you only need 4.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't know it was
certain,
different.
yeah,
It's
there's-
different depending on what the
For different
exemption
closed
is,
session
yes.
reasons? Great, well, if we were to not go into closed session, I think that would be doing a disservice to both sides of the bargaining team. I think it's fair to say that we would like more information about the budget as soon as possible available to the public, but I also think it's unfair to ask Ms. Agrusa to, be here for 7 months and be ready ahead of time to our normal schedule. We usually do only hear the budget for the first time publicly in June, and obviously the state doesn't give us much information to go off of for that, so I think it would be difficult to have it sooner, but it is a fair critique that we could talk more about it sooner, but I don't think it's fair to charge CFO Agrusa with doing that as a new person in the district with a lot to catch up on and correct for this budget.
Even though we've discussed the budget prior.
We should not be going into closed session for this reason with a secret meeting about discussing the budget, and how can we do one without the other? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Okay, are there any more comments? Okay, let's do a roll call starting with Trustee Jeup.
No.
Trustee Klepp.
Yep.
Trustee Cotton.
Nope.
Trustee Hull.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Trustee St. John.
Yes.
Okay, that carries 4-2, and we are now in closed session. We are now back in open session, and we are adjourned.
No decisions on matters.
There was no decisions that were made, no. Thank you for pointing that out.
Can you